I'm not going to say anything here, but it's a nice view. I think it's too windy. Communication styles that are more open probably have more merit than communication styles which are more closed and use stereotypes and sort of control the narrative that way by playing on the worst of humanity, have less merit there. Yeah. Alright, I'll take a break here out of the wind for a second. Yeah, then thinking about archetypes and communication styles, I tend to prefer a more open, collaborative communication style. I tend to think the closed communication styles of the past, which is kind of like the expert style, you know, it's kind of like shaming the other person into submission. And I'm thinking about like Big Tobacco and things like that, that sort of public relations style where you sort of gather experts and sort of like try and present the science and like why you're right, why the other side's wrong, and if you meet any opposition you sort of try and shame them into submission, and like make them give up basically. Then I think the alternative is to like have more open and to provide voices to all different groups. And then I think as a PR professional, that's what you're really trying to do. You're not trying to present yourself as like the ruler of everyone. I find when you have this kind of downtime, you tend to make more connections between things. You tend to gather up the interconnections between things. Not that you're trying to do it, it seems to simply happen. And I find it's important for balance in my life to do something like this every day, if I can. It's not always nice weather like this. It's quite a beautiful day. Sometimes the whales cruise past out here. It's got holidays at the moment, it's a bit busy too. It's a very beautiful blue ocean. I've been working on the Purpose project, where I've had to consider my values and what are my core values, and I'm thinking things like interconnection, balance. I never had that word, but you come out here and you come up with these things. Agility is important. Creativity is important. Innovation is important. And they're all kind of things that fit into the archetype of the creator. And I'm also a little bit the everyman. I like everyone to seem kind of comfortable, and I like to include everyone and give everyone a sense of belonging. And that's a little bit the social enterprise guy. And I like to and I'm like, the creator is a structural archetype. Then I would like to change the structure of things a little bit and create a sort of permaculture, a permanent culture. And I usually walk up here to this old submarine lookout. I'm having a nice walk. 25 degrees today, then it's definitely puffer jacket weather. It's a nice day, but it is cool. I'll go up here, we're not going to go down there. If you go down there, it's quite warm. You don't even need a puffer jacket. I'll start heading back. Then for my metaphor, I'm choosing kintsugi, is that how you say it? Which is the Japanese art of putting things back together. It's using gold to join old pots and that have broken. And apparently when you put them together, they're more beautiful and more interesting than the original. And it's hard to know if it's a little bit of a cliche, and it's hard to know if that's something that I've plucked out of the nether, or if it's something that's authentically myself. what is authenticity anyway? Like, I tend to think that these days we're social constructivists, and we sort of created and we perform different selves depending on our audience. But I also think we all do have a unique perspective and a unique view of the world. And then if we peel the layers off, eventually we get beyond ego and we get to a place where we are truly authentic, but that's always in connection with other people. That's not something that's purely individualistic. We can only become our true selves with others, because inevitably we're social creatures, is what I think. And I think we've gone through a bit of an individualistic phase, and I think, as tends to happen, I think society goes through individualistic phases and collectivist phases, but I think we're coming into another time when people will want to re-establish bonds and re-establish ways from the past, not to regress, but to go through and find something better than we've had before. That's sort of takes the best, doesn't sort of fold in and take away sort of rights and things that have been established, but leaves us with our autonomy, but takes us also to a better place. And this is all a bit abstract and everything, but I think that's